It's Family Friday here on The Morning Show with Kelly and Barbara. Now, if you're wondering how you can start your fitness journey and you're a little bit older, we've got some introductions to yoga, chair yoga with Aunty Jane. Plus, we have our first ever ministerial guest on the show. And if you're looking for ideas of things to do with your kids, Money from our very own YouTube family is joining us in studio. Don't go away. Hello and welcome to The Morning Show with Kelly and Barbara. Welcome to Family Friday.
I know, all things mums, dads, kids, brothers, sisters, grandmas, grandpas, and everything in between.
Okay, hopefully you've had a great time this morning, starting from 7:30 at First Light, then at 8:30, Cheryl Lowe and Uncle Sam had a good workout with you this morning.
And as is always, at 10 a.m., you've got your favorite sister duo, followed by your 3 p.m. sweat session. Today we've got Sam coming in from Uppercut Boxing.
And at 9 p.m. tonight, you've got evenings with John and Duncan as they keep you amused and challenge us to all sorts of random things. Seriously, guys, I did not enjoy looking like a retard doing the no hands challenge on the floor.
It's okay. Maybe I'll try it today.
Okay, maybe you can have a crack at that. But before we get to that, let's take a look at our numbers. Out of yesterday, 752 new cases, of which there were 0 imported cases and 2 of them community cases, 2 Singaporeans, but 0 work passes.
Awesome. We've also got 0 work permit holders outside the dorms and 750 within the dorms. So we are seeing more zeros here and there dotted around. 99% are linked to known clusters, which I think is one of the highest percentage rates we've had in a really, really long time. Our total is now 26,098.
Now, numbers aside, obviously, there is a lot being done to ensure for the health and safety of each of our foreign workers as well, and all of our frontliners.
That's right. So a lot of the foreign workers, those with mild symptoms, are being housed at the expo. So all 10 expo halls are being used, but of course all the healthcare workers are doing everything they can to make sure not only are they physically well, but also mentally taking care of their mental health as well.
Yeah.
And there was a video that had gone around of them being led through 2 dance workouts per day, which I think is great. Let's take a look at that video.
It's super cute. I mean, it just goes to show that you can do a lot to lighten the mood just by having a little bit of fun, getting out there and like having a good dance off. I mean,
so what they do is after each of these little dance routines, it goes on for 15 minutes, but they also, because of course they do have mild symptoms, so they take extra measures to make sure that, you know, they're still healthy, they're still okay, they're not facing any respiratory measures. So a lot is being done to make sure that not just physically but mentally that everyone is taken care of.
Now, speaking of mental health issues, we have noticed that there are an increase, obviously, around the world of people who are facing depression from being stuck indoors. And it was decided that Singapore would stand in solidarity. So 30 of our iconic landmarks were lit up blue, from Marina Bay Sands to Park Royal Hotel. So many hotels all turned their lights to blue in sign of solidarity for mental health issues.
Which I think is great. I mean, we're not going to lie, it is difficult to not just stay at home, but sometimes be with. Now, as much as you love your family members or whoever you're living with, being in close confines with people for extended periods of time can take its toll. I would say it's not the easiest thing. In our normal lives, we get to see them in the morning. Everyone goes their separate ways for work, and then you see them again at night. So this is very new and very different to everyone, getting used to everyone for extended periods of time.
Well, I mean, if you look at the articles coming out of China, for example, they've got the highest number of divorce rates as a result of all of them being locked down. So it's very important that we do whatever we can just to recognize sometimes that the angst that we may be feeling, the frustration that we may be feeling, and if it is depression, then it does need to be addressed. You can actually seek help from professionals online as well. There are a lot of counselors, coaches, psychiatrists who are available online via Zoom call as well. So if you do need help, please, please, please do not hesitate to look online.
And, you know, we are here on the morning show to help lift your moods a little bit with our daily giveaways.
And her dose of nonsense. But today's giveaway, what do we got?
We've got the Black Hole, which consists of a whole bunch of a whole bunch of other little cafes and different types of places under it. So on today's Get Lucky, all you need to do is like and follow the Get Active TV Facebook page, share the morning show on your page, and comment and tell us what is the biggest craving you've had during the circuit breaker period.
Oh, I think my biggest craving was cookies until I made them myself. And then I think
you were
I'm
making
just all
cookies like every day.
Yes, I'm all cookied out. What about you?
Golden Village popcorn.
Wow.
Yeah, the salted one.
I made you popcorn the
You
other
made
day.
me popcorn, and it was fantastic popcorn. It was absolutely great. But there is something about Golden Village popcorn that is just so different. Yum.
How
Shaw
ungrateful.
popcorn doesn't even come close.
How ungrateful can you
I am
get?
so grateful.
I'm disappointed. With
Don't
that,
be sensitive.
I'm gonna boot you off the show and replace you with someone nicer. Auntie Jane is gonna join me, and she's very, very nice. After the break, we are back on the morning show with Kelly and Barbara with Auntie Jane, who's gonna teach us a little bit of chair yoga. So if you've never done yoga before, if you have never really worked out before, this is a great way to ease you into a routine.
Without ending up like an injury.
Yes, and she's way nicer than you. So yes, stick around, ladies and gents. We're here on the morning show with Kelly and Barbara. We're going for a break. We will be right back.
So salty.
Step right up, draw the next card. You one of the black animals, so get along with everybody else. Is the ship sinking? I've been thinking. Always sinking. I've been thinking. Been a little time to get along. Wake up call, throw the next up. Be one of a kind, original. Don't be another sign of the times. Fight. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Try to find the feeling we belong. It's all for one and all for fun.
Back to the morning show with Kelly and Barbara, who I've swapped out for someone much nicer and who might actually like my popcorn. Auntie Jane. I call you Auntie Jane because I'm such good friends with her daughter Sarah, who we've had on the show before, talking to us a little bit about gyrotonic, gyrokinesis, and the things that you can do at home. But it's very obvious that the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree. Both you and Uncle Peter both teach yoga, don't you? We do. Which is very, very interesting, especially Uncle Peter. Maybe we'll have him on the show like another time, right? We should just get the whole family
you should
on. How long have you been teaching yoga?
More than 10 years.
More than 10
Yeah.
years.
While I was working, I was teaching part-time as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And what got you started?
Well, actually, my boss got me started.
Oh.
Yeah, he says, you're too skinny, let's go, can pump some iron and get some muscles on your body.
I can see the muscles on your arms at the moment. You are looking mighty fit, but not everybody out there is very fit. Some people, however, have started on their fitness journey throughout the course of Circuit Breaker. But it's important to start from the basics. And I feel that if you are slightly older, it's important to know your limitations as well.
Yes.
And therefore, jumping into a Zoom class for yoga is probably not the best thing to do without some form of basics. Or if you find yourself not very mobile, then chair yoga is an option, right?
Yep.
So what exactly is chair yoga?
Well, I usually teach the general population. Yeah, and then there was one day I was invited to teach a bunch of ladies in church. So I said, okay, tell them, everybody to get a mat and I'll teach them yoga. So I go into the class and all the ladies were sitting on the floor, ready for breathing, so comfortable. And then we start out breathing and then everything is seated, warming up and everything. And then it come to a time and I said, okay, let's all stand up. And all of them are like struggling to get up. I said, oh no, and these are not seniors, mind you. A few of them are seniors, but they were kind of struggling to get up. So that's where chair yoga comes in.
Nice.
Yeah, so chair yoga can be for anyone. I mean, not just for the special population or even for the seniors. Anybody with some imbalance in the body or some range of motion which can go beyond what they do, I think the chair is still possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd like for you to bring me through some chair yoga poses today, so that if you are at home, if you're sat on your chair, we can maybe lead them through maybe like 3 or 4 different poses. So let's start. How do we start?
Okay. So try to sit towards the front of your chair,
Okay.
and make sure your feet is planted on the ground. You don't want to be on something higher and
Yep.
you'll be dangling.
Yep.
So plant it down and keep your hands on your knees. Now take the range of shoulder movements here, just to warm up the shoulders.
Okay.
Just go with your breath. And sigh or moan. Just release all those kinks from the night before. That's it. And just like Andrea, she has all the shoulder injury, neck injury. Just kind of move the neck a little. And that's right.
That feels nice. First thing in the morning, especially.
I know. Just release it. Maybe the pillow's not so good. And come back to center and back to center.
Okay.
Yeah, let's take a deep breath in. Inhale. And then exhale, open it back. Good. And again, inhale, breath.
Barbara's
Nice
doing this
deep
on
breath.
the sidelines as well.
Exhale. Yeah, so good to fill up those lungs, especially in these times, right? We forget to breathe. Exhale.
When we're
Take
very
one more.
hunched over a computer as well.
Exactly,
and we're
especially when
reducing.
you're working from home. And then exhale. Good. Now from here, this time, take your arms over your head, interlace your fingers, and
Okay.
press your palms towards the ceiling. And then take a look up, chin up, press up, stretch up. And now look forward. Take your hands behind your head.
Okay.
So you're gonna open up your wings, your elbows, and lift your chest towards the sky. And just open up just like a sunflower, opening and blooming. That's it, yeah. And then you can close it around your back.
I feel myself blooming.
Yeah. And again, inhale, just open up the chest, take the elbows back, shine your heart towards the ceiling. And exhale, take it one more time like this. And again, inhale, open up, open up, open up. And exhale, just close it up. Good. And release, inhale, arms, take it up. Now there's a bit of twist here.
Okay.
Taking your right hand over the left knee. Okay. And then the other arm just by the back of the chair. So sit nice and tall, your body's still facing forward. Inhale, look forward. Then exhale, pull that belly in and send your breakfast towards the other side.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
look at your triceps.
And keep those sit bones grounded. Good. And now slowly come back. Good. Inhale. And exhale and switch the other side. And the hand over the knee, the other over the armchair. Inhale, lengthen, belly pulls in, and twist, and twist, and twist, and twist, and twist.
I don't know if you can hear it, but my back is cracking in
Yeah,
several
that's
places
good
right now.
actually.
This is good.
It helps you when you're reversing the car. You need to look back, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And let's come back to center.
Oh, yes, that was a final
Yeah.
crack. Okay.
Inhale, take it up. And then exhale. Now place your hands on your knees so you get a bit of a spinal movement here.
Okay.
So round the back, we call this an angry cat. And inhale, take your heart up. And exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale. A little bit of sounds, just release your stress and any tension in the body. Let's take one more inhale. And exhale this time, fold forward. Fold forward over your thighs and begin to lean forward, sliding your hands down the leg. And if you've got that availability, bring your hands to the ground.
Okay.
And then just fold between your legs. You're going to open your legs a little wider and let your head drop. Wow. Now nod your head, yes, yes.
Okay.
And say no, no. Just shake the head out. Good. And then slowly from here, pressing onto your feet. And then bring your hands onto your knees and stack your spine up.
Now I
Stacking,
can see how
stacking,
this
and
would be
stacking.
very, very good for someone who is maybe not as steady on their legs, because usually a forward fold, especially if you're older or don't have
Right.
that balance, you might just fall.
Exactly. So stack, 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 stack. All right?
And how important is it to have a chair like this? Like, what sort of chair could you use?
Well, as long as you have a solid chair, and hopefully it's not swiveling, solid chair with without this armrest
Yep.
and a straight back.
Okay, so
That'll
you
be
don't need to have the armrests. You
No,
don't need,
no,
okay.
no. This actually would be in the way, really.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all right. Well, I definitely feel a lot more limber than before, and I think it's a very nice and safe way to sort of make sure that you're starting off your day in the right way as well. Do you have anything else, maybe just like one more stretch for us in this position?
Definitely. Something we can lift
my
the butt
hips.
off the chair.
Okay.
Okay. And now placing your hands just by the side of your
Okay.
seat. Then lean forward.
Okay.
That's it. So draw the belly in, lean forward, and lift the booty just about 2 inches off.
Okay.
That's it. And then bring it back down. And
it's like-
again.
It's like chair pose.
Yes, like
On a
chair pose.
chair.
Yes. Okay, now stay here. Don't keep the butt down. Keep the butt lifted.
Yeah.
Then place your arms, hands in front of your knees.
Whoa.
Good. Sit the butts back. Check the knees are above your ankles.
Yep.
Good, good.
Okay, yep.
Okay, take your arms in front of you.
It's
Good.
just like a nagging mother. She's like, no, 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 no.
That's right, kiddo. Now, stay low. Good. Now, this is think public toilet pose.
Oh,
Yeah.
public toilets.
That's right. I borrowed this from a
Singapore toilets are very, very clean, but I've been in some particularly nasty
friend. Yeah,
ones. So
yeah.
there you
So
go.
don't do that. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we come back down. All right.
All right, I'm going to have to stop you there because I'm actually starting to sweat. My goodness me. Studio lights, I'm sure it's the
Yeah,
studio
it
lights.
is.
Auntie Jane, thank you so much for showing us how we can start our practice from a chair and actually maintain and keep our balance as well. I really appreciate that. You do online classes as well. Is this something that people can join in on? Or is it just for the corporates at the moment? for you?
Yeah, it's for corporate
Exclusive
friends.
stuff for you.
Yeah, more exclusive.
Okay,
Yes.
that's incredible. But I think it's very interesting to note that, especially as someone who hasn't been born with technology in the way that some of our youth of today and
Oh, I
some
can
of the
see that
instructors
again.
of today, how has that been for you, adapting to taking
Well,
your classes virtual?
It was overwhelming. I was very resistant to doing virtual classes because I don't know how to do it, and I've got to relearn everything. So they say, okay, you Zoom, and then we tried Zoom, and it was just overwhelming and a very steep learning curve. But we got over it, and now we know Zoom, we know Microsoft Teams, we know WebEx, and who knows what else.
Look at you go, throwing all those names around. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with your practice. And I
Thank
hope
you so
have,
much. Thank you.
Stay safe during
You
circuit
too.
breaker as
You
well.
too.
Alrighty, we are going to go for a short break, but when we return, we've got our first ministerial guest ever, Senior Minister of State for the Ministry of Culture, Community and Youth, as well as the Ministry of Communications and Information. Sim Ann is joining Barbara and I on the show. How incredible. Make sure you don't go anywhere. This is The Morning Show with Kelly and Barbara.
Step right up, draw the next card. You one of the black animals, so get along with everybody else. Is the ship sinking? I've been thinking. All we say
of Communications and Information, SIM and SMS. Hello and welcome. Good morning.
Hello.
How are
Good
you
morning,
doing?
everyone.
How are you
Oh,
doing?
I'm doing okay. It's of course a very difficult and very challenging period for everyone. We've all had to adapt to so many changes in our day-to-day routines. We've all had to learn safe distancing measures. We have to get used to all the protective measures for ourselves and for our families. But I would say, on the whole, I'm all right. I could do with a haircut though. I'm looking forward to getting a haircut later.
I just got mine done and I'm so happy that I got it. It seems like the shorter your hair, the more frequently you need to get it cut. And the moment it starts growing out, you're just like, I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, I'm just going to tie mine up. So how, with
The
all
irony, yeah.
everyone's working from home, how are you staying healthy during this circuit breaker period?
Well, I found it's really important to have a routine. So you know what you're going to do, at roughly what time each day. I think it really helps to keep our sleep habits regular. That's also very important. So I think that once we sort of, work out what we're going to do every day, then we can also schedule in some time for exercise. I think that's really important. And congratulations for the great job you've been doing on Get Active SG's TV. I think that, it has a lot of very easy to learn exercise programs that people can follow along.
I think a lot of people have been enjoying this working out from home thing because you're not just working from home, you're schooling from home, you're exercising at home now.
Doing everything from home.
Buying
groceries
everything's done
from home.
So it's really nice to see how everyone's been coping. I mean, how's your family doing and how's home-based learning going as well?
Well, it's now the May holidays, so I think that's something that my children welcome. I welcome that too, I think for the kids, the first few days of home-based learning was where I think they were really trying to get a routine set. And I think once they understand that, and once they understand that learning from home, is really not the same as a vacation, and it really means when it's time to go to bed, you have to go to bed. Otherwise, you're not going to wake up in time for your HBL. I think once we sort of, made sure that it was clear to them, things went a lot smoother. Personally, I've also benefited from, having my own IT help desk now at home. That's my son, my eldest. I think the words that he dreads most are, come and help mom make a video.
Bless. Well, it's nice to see that you guys are getting some good family time in. I think that's one of the upsides of Circuit Breaker. I think everyone's been able to spend a lot more quality time. Obviously you are very, very busy, but a lot of the dads who often don't get to spend time with their families are suddenly realizing how
difficult it
gets
is.
done and how hard it is to be like staying at home with your kids all the time.
How about like meals and stuff? How's that been going at home?
Well, I think that we now can, really enjoy many more meals together. For me, that's a big plus because I used to eat dinner with my kids quite seldom, lunch almost never. So, now working from home, I see them virtually at every meal time. And, we can plan together, what we're going to have for meals. It also means that I get to monitor what they eat a lot more.
That is true. More vegetables on the
conversations,
plate.
More vegetables, or, is that your idea of a balanced meal?
I love it. Now, you've been keeping very, very busy, haven't you? Not just with your daily duties at work, but also with the Mask Force.
Mask Force, indeed. Well, the Mask Force is a ground-up initiative which aims to provide our migrant workers as well as our domestic helpers with mask kits that comprise reusable fabric masks as well as a disposable mask that can serve as a filter. And we have gathered enough contributions from private sector organizations and from members of the public to give out 870,000 of these mask kits.
Wow.
And I've just been overwhelmed by the outpouring of goodwill by members of the public, because I think they really want to help segments of our workforce that could be more vulnerable and that need a helping hand.
But you haven't just been spearheading Mask Force, you've actually been sewing yourself, haven't you?
Exactly.
Yeah, you've been keeping tabs, haven't you, Barbara? So yes, you're right. I have also been taking part in the Masks Sewn with Love community initiative. So that aims to let more people understand how to sew their own masks at home. And for those who are able to make more, especially if they have sewing machines at home, we do encourage them to sew for the community. So I found a way to combine both sewing at home with the various fundraising initiatives that I've been involved with. So I've partnered Only World, which is a Singapore lifestyle brand, to use their signature fabrics in the masks that I sew. And then we make that available for people who wish to donate to various good causes. Let me show you what they look like. So I
was going to say, I love the brand. I love all their fabrics are so nice. I mean, look at that. So pretty.
Wow.
So this has got various landmarks that show our garden city. You might know this one. This is Tiong Bahru.
Oh, beautiful.
And,
There's some
they
lovely
sent me
colours as
fabric
well.
in this design in a few colors. And this one you will know. It's our dragon
it's our
playground.
dragon. I love it. Oh, look at that. It's such a retro looking. Oh, I love it. I love it. So how can people get hold of these
thank you.
masks?
So they can come onto my Facebook. We have a Only World mask giveaway special. And we explain to people how they can take part in that. Basically, we make available the chance to win these masks if people donate to either Mask Force, which is in aid of the Migrant Workers Assistance Fund, or the Children's Aid Society, which runs the Melrose Home. This is a residential home for children and young persons from vulnerable backgrounds, and it's located in my constituency. They do really good work.
Now, speaking of that, there have been a lot of SG United initiatives that have come about, with everyone coming together to clap or to sing and shine their phone torchlights to show solidarity to the solidarity. That was it. It was one of those words. To all the frontliners and the hard work that they're putting in and recognizing all of this. What does all this mean to you?
I think it means that Singaporeans are feeling the importance of the Gotong Royong spirit of being together as one. And I'm so heartened by the readiness with which they respond to these initiatives. For instance, our sing-along, our national sing-along, and also clapping for our frontline workers. Not only have our residents participated, so many of my residents have sent me video clips of their neighbors. And there's, I think, nothing more touching than to see a video of entire blocks of flats where you can just hear not just the clapping, but the whooping, the whistles, and people just really expressing themselves in a very, very vocal manner. It's so touching. It really sort of sends goosebumps, and you feel at that moment that we really have something special as a nation. I thank everybody for being so active in participating in these initiatives.
I've got to agree, because I remember being on the balcony that evening with my mom and dad. And so we played out the song on the speakers on the balcony, but you could also see, looking up, all the torchlights on the floors above us, and also the apartment blocks opposite. Like the lights were just going everywhere, and it gave you like a nice visual indication, aside from hearing everyone sing. They were like, okay, we are all in this together. It was a very nice form of togetherness.
Yeah, I do feel it's all these different initiatives and everyone coming together has really shown a patriotic side of Singapore that I think we've been missing for a little while. But it just goes to show that when we stick together during adversity and when we really face the rough times together, we can make it through.
Oh, definitely.
I know,
Definitely.
right?
And so much of that has been shown over the last 2 months, I would say, getting used to the new norm and really figuring things out and how everyone can play their part into
Bolstering
guiding
the
us
communities
towards
as well.
getting back to normal.
Yeah.
in due
Speaking
course.
of the different communities, I mean, the sporting community, all the communities have been hit. Everybody is suffering in some way, shape, or another. But SMS, do you have any encouraging words to say to our sporting community, our athletes, our coaches, our events crew, everyone that basically has a part in this side of the community?
Well, I think sports is the embodiment of resilience, and there's no better time than this for our athletes to show Singaporeans, their brand of resilience. I've been very encouraged to look at the wonderful things that our athletes have been doing. I have myself joined, for instance, our Team Singapore bowlers in packing and distributing masks for vulnerable households. And I also know that our athletes have been making available used laptops for children from disadvantaged backgrounds so that they can carry on with their home-based learning. Our athletes have been doing quite a lot to support fellow Singaporeans, and I'm sure that they can inspire more people to join our SG United efforts. So in fact, I would also encourage people who are interested in volunteering or starting their own initiatives to check out our SG United portal.
Oh, okay. So on this portal, this is where they can find out a little bit more about everything that's available currently.
Yes, they can go on the portal. They can find like-minded people who may have already started projects that the members of the public can resonate with. Do join in. I think no amount is too little, and no kind of help is insignificant. We really need everybody to be in this, and I think that just the sense of togetherness with everyone contributing is something which I feel will remain with us for a very long time.
Fantastic.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate you just coming on and sharing all this with us. We are going to go for a short break, but when we come back, we've got lots more just for you on this Family Friday right here on The Morning Show with Kelly and Barbara. Hello and welcome.
Step right up, draw the next card. Be one of the bright animals, so get along with everybody else. Is this ship sinking? I've been thinking. Always sinking. I've been thinking. Been a little time to get along. One of these days you're gonna be. One of these days I'm gonna feel this haze. A wake-up call, throw the next up. Be one of a kind, original. Don't be another sign of the times. Fight. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Try to find the feeling we belong. It's all for one and all for fun.
Hello and welcome back to The Morning Show with Kelly and Barbara. I am back in, well rather I've stayed. Kelly's popped out for a little bit. I've got our next guest with us, but before I introduce this very special guest, make sure you drop us a comment and tell us what has been your biggest craving during the circuit breaker so far. We want to know all your thoughts. and you might just walk away with a $50 voucher from the Blackhole. Now, I would like to introduce Manny Chug. I got that right?
Yes.
Yes. Manny, you're a doctor?
Yes, I'm a PhD holder.
We have a real life scientist in the house. This is amazing. I've just finished binge watching all 12 seasons of Big Bang Theory. So to have a scientist here with us is very, very exciting.
Thank you for inviting me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? What's life like for you? Where are you from?
Okay, so I work as a senior scientist in Procter & Gamble, just right across the street.
Oh, okay.
So basically come from India, from Delhi, and living here in Singapore for 7 years.
Wow, so you have your husband and your son here with you.
Yes, that's
And that's
correct.
kind of the reason why we've invited you on today. So you guys started your own YouTube channel
We did.
about a month ago.
A month and a half, yes.
Amazing. And it's called the Little Heart Super Kids.
Yes.
And your son, what's his name?
His name is Radhan.
Ratan. And how old is he?
He's going to turn 4 next month.
Oh, such a nice age, right? When
It
the
is.
conversations are really coming.
Too many questions.
Too many questions. Aye, mummy, there's no such thing as too many questions. So what was the inspiration behind, starting this channel?
To be honest, I wasn't really intending to have any channel, so just the idea stuck one day. And I did some research, some background work on, how we can create a YouTube channel. And the idea was just born. So the intent behind, creating a YouTube channel for kids was to, showcase fun questions, the curiosity-based questions in a very colorful, animated manner for kids. Because kids from the age of 2 onwards, they ask so many questions. And I think that's their way of, learning from their environment, from people around us. So I started with that, with just simple fun facts like, why the camels have hump, or where do the stars go in the morning. Simple, basic stuff where kids can learn really quick. So our videos are focused within like 2 to 4 minutes. So it doesn't take too much of their screen time.
Yeah.
We also did some COVID-19 series, 2-part series, where the kids would learn about what this virus is all about and what they can do when, they're sitting at home and being bored.
I mean, that's super important, right?
It
so many
is.
kids, they don't get to
Yeah.
see their friends nowadays. It is very difficult.
Yes.
And they understand that they're not allowed to go out, but, really grasping the concept of it is a bit of a struggle.
That's right. So this channel is more about, bonding with my son in a very constructive, fun manner. So it's a little project that we have started a month back. So it has gotten really good. We didn't want to focus only on the fun facts and the COVID-19 part, but we
Aw,
did
look at you
some.
guys.
But we did some whiteboard animations now, and we have started off with this Personality of the Week series. We started off with a dentist to know, for the kids to know who are dentists and what do they do, and how parents can prepare their child when they visit the dentist, and what's there inside the dental room. Just a very snapshot kind of a thing, a very concise thing in one video that kids can know.
Now, before we talk more about the concept of all
Yes.
of your videos, let's take a look at episode 2 that was released. Have a look.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Little Heart Super Kids. Thank you to all of you who watch, like and subscribe. Today I bring you some more fun facts. Keep watching. Where do stars go in morning? Nowhere. They are still in sky. The sun is so bright that it makes stars invisible. Do you know what are germs? Germs are tiny little things. They can make you ill if they get into your body. We must wash hands so that COVID-19 goes away to his home quickly. Do you know where do rivers end? These go until they meet other big rivers or sea. Happy swimming. Do you know what is biggest muscle in our body? It's called gluteus maximus, which is a hip muscle. And now my last question. Can you guess how many here do we have? Let's count. Just kidding. Roughly 100,000 redheads and plovers and blondes have most. That's all for now, friends. Hope you enjoyed my channel.
That is so cute. Just
Thank
like
you.
his voice is so soft and he's very articulate as well.
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit about how you guys came up with the name.
So besides working on the YouTube channel, I've been working on a children's book. So I was writing that and I tentatively put that title as Little Hearts. So it was easier to borrow that Little Hearts from there. And since we believe that all the kids are super special, so hence I added the super kids to it. So
Aww.
Little
So
Hearts
you're a
Super Kids.
mom of many talents. You're a mom, you're a scientist, you've created a YouTube channel, you've got a book coming out as
Yes.
well. That is absolutely amazing. So obviously creating a YouTube video or viral content, stuff like that, it's very different for a family as it is compared to an adult and having to almost direct the little ones. So what's the weekly process, or how do you go through the process of creating these videos? You've got all these visuals as well.
yeah, so the entire process is done on iPad. So I have this iPad Pro and amazingly inbuilt apps. So we have Procreate, where I do my digital drawings. Then we have iMovie software, which is great for editing.
Yeah.
And then we have the audio software as well, where we do the voiceovers. And since my son is an avid reader, so it becomes very easy for him to follow the scripts and just go with the flow.
Wow.
So yeah, so that way it's very easy.
What was the idea of like sparking a YouTube channel to begin with? I mean, it's very different. There's a difference between like guiding your things and doing some learning and bonding with your kids.
Right.
But also suddenly creating this whole environment for your son, which is very different.
I think since the kids, these days they belong to a digital generation, there's so much exposure. So I thought, it would be a nice digital debut for my son. So the whole process, again, it's relatively simpler, easier. It's just you need to have the right thoughts in the right place, and anybody can make the content for the kids.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, talking about, kids are so exposed to digital content nowadays. They're very digital savvy.
Yes.
They know how to work these iPads better than some of us.
Yeah.
Exposing him to, this world of YouTube and social media. As a parent, do you have any worry about the negative impact in the future?
So that's a very good question. So when I was working on, understanding what goes on in creating a YouTube channel, YouTube has a great policy now, I think since last year, that they have blocked all the comments which would come onto the kids' videos. So they're protecting the minors that way. So that's one aspect that was very clear, that, it's safe to put on the videos. There won't be any negative, comments or anything like that. But as a parent, we are very well aware of the fact that, we live in a real world where we would be subjected to, negativity around us. There is bullying, there is cyberbullying, there is other bullying where kids get affected. So, as a parent, every day, in our everyday parenting style, we try that, we make our son more confident to face his fears, make him more resilient. And he's able to talk about it, as and when the things come, to able to share with us, and we together as a family can, solve those things. So basically, yeah, just an everyday parenting step that we as parents take.
Being aware and being present. Well, thank you for
Right.
that. I think that's some really good advice for parents out there who are struggling to kind of navigate this digital age with
Right.
their kids. Well, thank you so much for joining us
Pleasure.
today. We look forward to seeing more episodes. Don't
Thank
forget,
you.
can check them out. Just look for the YouTube channel,
Yes.
Little Hearts Super Kids.
That's right.
Again, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Barbara.
We're going to pop off for a quick break, but when we come back, lots more on this Family Friday.
Step right up, draw the next card. You water the plant, we're animals, so get along with everybody else. Is the ship sinking? I've been thinking. Are we sinking? I've been thinking. Been a little time to get along. One of these days you're gonna feel. One of these days I'm gonna feel this haze. A wake-up call, throw the next up. Be one of a kind, original. Don't be another sign of the times. Fight. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Try to find the feeling we belong. It's all for one and all for fun.
Hello and welcome back to the morning show with Kelly and Barbara. How do you feel about navigating Sienna through the digital age?
You know, it's actually really tricky. I mean, we tried to keep her away from screens, as you know, as long as we could. I think we managed to survive until we did one long trip and we needed to put her on an aeroplane and amuse her for a while.
And there was
So
the
I think-
car as well.
And there was the car ride as
Yeah.
well. So I think we lasted until she was about 17 months, 17, 18
That's
months.
not
So a year and
bad.
a half, that's okay. But since then, obviously, she sees what we do. She sees that we're on the phones. She sees that we're doing social media. She sees that we're recording things for work. So it's very difficult for me to say, no, you can't have that. You can't do that. You can't use that.
When it's part of their life.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
what we have to realize is that these young kids, they are born with technology. They're not like us, where we were introduced to it when we were 6 years old, 7 years old,
Do you
10
remember
years
like
old.
Minesweeper on the Mac?
Yeah, or the computer in general.
The dial-up, the you can't use the phone when you're using the computer.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I remember all of these things, but recognizing that Sienna will never know a time without digital devices, without knowing a personal digital device. I mean, already she walks around, oh man, I
My
forgot.
iPad?
Yeah, her tablet, and I'm just like, what is going on? Although it's very important that you draw a line,
Yeah.
and it's very important to recognize when to stop, and that we learn that we have to set a good example as well. If we are constantly on our devices, then that's all she's going to know, and then that's what she's going to grow up with.
I mean, to be fair, I see the way that you guys handle it, and I think you do a really, really good job. All right,
Thanks.
we've got Nat Dau up next. She's gonna break it down with us. She's got all the family-based stuff that you can do at home. Check it out.
Hello and welcome to Break It Down, the time when we get to break down your favourite exercises and movements so you know the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts, and the best hacks to make it easier or hopefully a lot harder in some instances. Now, my name is Natalie Dau, and today I'll be taking you through Family Fridays. So this segment is a little bit different. We're not demonstrating push-ups or sit-ups. I'm talking to you about staying healthy as a family at home. I'm mum to an 11-year-old, so I know the challenges of homeschooling, working from home, and trying to keep everyone fit and healthy at the same time. Let's face it, it's not easy. So today I'm going to talk to you about 3 exercises that all kids should be doing to stay fit. Now, we're doing our best, we're trying to keep them moving, but I want to break it down today for you a little bit further and talk about 3 specific areas. So the first one is aerobic or cardiovascular health for your children. So that actually means how fit they are. If they're wheezing when they're running or they're getting out of breath, that means they need to work on their aerobic or cardiovascular health. So what can you do to help them do that? The easiest things to do are running, and it can even be just running on the spot at home. Dancing, which is obviously much more fun than running for most children. If you're getting outside, obviously doing it safely, but going for a bike ride is a really great one to help with that. And then I know a lot of children at the moment are doing some great martial arts classes online at home. So again, that is a really good one to get their heart working. And things like burpees and fast exercise, just think that and get them breathing, and a little bit of out of breath is good because it's going to help them build that fitness. Now, the second one is muscle strength or muscle endurance. So think about resistance, and it's not about them building huge, strong muscles. It's just about them being able to do basic exercises and being strong enough to do those. So what are some of the things that you can do to help your children build muscular endurance or strength? Well, things like air squats are fantastic. Push-ups, which obviously will modify for most children, which would mean them doing them on their knees in a safe manner. And then using things like resistance bands. So think about those stretchy bands that everyone has, or even just getting a towel and using that as a resistance band at home is really great for this. And the other things that you can do around building muscular strength is yoga, so holding poses for some time to build that strength. And then if you have a set of stairs that you have access to, get them climbing those, because that certainly is a great one. And it's a great form of exercise for adults as well, so maybe it's a new family activity. Then the last one we're going to talk about is bone strength. And bone strength is so important as children grow. Now, what bone strength should endure is weight-bearing exercises. And when I say weight-bearing, it doesn't mean that children need to be carrying around heavy weights. It can be body weight exercises that work just as well. So think about some more dynamic movements, such as skipping with a skipping rope, hopping, any gymnastics type of movement, or even any change of direction. So if they're doing shuttle runs across the lounge room, then that's always a really good one too. So as we're thinking about setting programs for our children at home to keep them healthy, remember, it's about cardiovascular strength, it's about muscular strength, and it's about bone strength. So break the exercises down like that, and your kids are going to come out fitter and healthier than ever. So if you do try this at home, I would love to hear about the exercises that you've come up and how your children are enjoying them. Don't forget to tag us on Get Active TV, or if you've got any questions, please feel free to shoot us a comment, as we would love to help. Thanks for joining me on Break It Down. It's time for a quick break, but you can come back and it's over to Callie and Barbara for some more. Don't go anywhere.
Awesome.
Well,
Stuff to do with the kids.
I'm just thinking about what I do with Sienna to wear her out, and I think one of the easiest ways to just tire out a kid, especially if they're younger, is to just play tag.
That's true.
Literally, you just play tag or duck, duck, goose. It doesn't even really need any form of fancy equipment or anything. Like
You
she
just
said,
need her to run and
you just need them to
expend
run.
energy.
Exactly. So if all you're doing is playing duck, duck, goose, or just playing tag around the house and hiding around things, like that is all you need. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need any complex exercises. You just need to get them to run.
Although, to be fair, Sienna does love a good obstacle course.
She does. She absolutely does. Speaking of obstacles and different challenges, yesterday I had a crack at doing the no hands challenge. And if Barbara thought she was exempt just because we ran out of time, Duncan and John really want to see Barbara having a crack at this. So, Barbara, here we go. We're going to have another crack at the no hands challenge. Yeah, I suggest removing the high heels. Essentially, what you have to do is you have to get down on the floor, put your hands behind your back, and without rolling onto your sides, you need to be, you need to try and get yourself up and off the floor.
In a non-compromising position.
In a non-compromising position. Come on, Mimi. Now, what some people have been doing is like doing the splits and then just like sitting up. Barbara's gone for the bum hike. All right, now you got to get yourself up. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Core strength. Core strength.
To make sure I haven't flashed anyone.
Let's take a look. Hey, there you go. And jump up. You see what I mean? I was in this position yesterday. I was just like,
Oh no! I'm so close.
that was what I didn't want to do.
Replay. All done.
Wow. That is
was close.
exactly why I didn't attempt that jump yesterday, because
Bruised my knee there. Not try this at home, or rather, don't try the jump unless you have the quads and glute game of Mark. Yesterday.
Okay.
It's a bit messy now.
So now that you've seen Barbara completely,
Just I think I've got a bit of a dent on my face from the grass.
is the carpet okay? Alrighty, so we've got
Is the carpet okay?
well. Anyway,
And she said I was the mean one. It's TGIF, which means we're going into the weekend, but not fear. We will be back next week with a chock-a-block of guests coming in. It's a really, really good lineup that we've got. Mindful Mondays, we're going to be bringing in Daddy Latimer.
That's right. Tony Latimer will be joining us to talk about parents being the first coach, but also about how we can get ourselves geared up to go back to work and embrace life after Circuit Breaker is done. We've got Tiffany coming in.
Tiff Chill, Tiff no chill.
She has zero chill.
She's going to be taking us through some MMA type of stretches. That's going to be super interesting. We've got Ben Kang coming in.
That's right.
Well,
the king himself.
we'll call him to be on Zoom.
Social distancing. Yui Tan, Singapore's race car driver in the Carrera Cup, will be talking about how he's gone virtual with the Porsche Carrera Cup. And
Singapore athlete Nurul Sahaila will be in with us as
right.
well. We're going to be having a nice little chat with her.
our Silat sweetheart will be joining us. So much to look forward to next week.
right.
So make sure you are joining us back here on Monday, 10 a.m. on the morning show with Kelly and Barbara. Whatever it is you're doing this weekend, make sure that you stay safe, stay strong, and stay at home.